Hi, this is Cherie. Welcome to my journey. Today we went to the unemployment office. We updated our resume, and I'm gonna try this protein macchiato, 20 grams of protein. Yeah. We're gonna try this because we brought it with us, and since we're on our way back home, we get hungry. We get hungry. We like to eat. So I'm glad that I came, right? Interesting enough, you know, I don't know if I'm like so eccentric that I attract musicians because I attracted some musician. Apparently he's a vet. He was on his way to the employment office also. Decided he'd give me his card. He's a saxophone player. Alright. So, I don't know. He says he's on YouTube. I might check him out, see what he's about, He might know some very interesting people. While he was there, right? For whatever reason, he thought it was, cool to call, a female associate, on speakerphone. What the fuck? I mean, she was very nice to him and everything, but, I don't know, maybe it was a mentor, perhaps. It doesn't have a lot of taste to it. Not a lot of flavor. It's supposed to be matcha latte. It probably would taste better if I had some ice. Yeah. But I was feeling a little hungry. Yeah. Every time I do something, I feel like I have to reward myself with food. Must be my tourist placements. So, go ahead, dude. Go. Hurry. So, yeah, I feel pretty good. Of course, I'm like, what am I gonna do? But, it just seems like I should just do whatever, whatever I've been doing. I should just keep trying to do it. Just keep trying to do it. Right? Because it's not like, those positions is just dissolved just because I gotten older. But, yeah. One of the positions I think I might really like is working with Omni, right? Because I'm thinking, my goodness, there's a possibility of working with Omni and also getting hotel hotel discounts. What? I always had this little fantasy that, one of these days I'll be able to travel. One of these days. And they got Omni everywhere, and they're beautiful hotels. They're beautiful. I love them. I mean, the ones that I've seen, they all been 4 and 5 star hotels. That was the one I was really excited about, but I didn't act like I was excited about it, right? But that was when I seen the opening. I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and apply, whatever, right? And then once I had applied, it was like, okay, let me see what else is out there. So there's something else that's involving clothes and procurement and stuff, and I love clothes. So I don't think it would really be a horrible thing for me to get into procurement and, you know, and the contracting that's involved, you know, when it comes to like clothing, right? I think I might even like it. I mean, what won't I like if I can work and get paid good money? Right? The one thing I didn't think I needed to do was to, you know, apply for like customer service jobs. That's the one thing I don't think I needed to do. Oh yeah, that is an electrical Mercedes. That one is electrical because it doesn't have any exhaust pipes, period. Yeah. You know, I would like a job where I can still, you know, feel comfortable about me being eccentric. Okay? I want to feel eccentric, you know, and since, you know, I am, you know, semi-retired, I don't know. I don't think it was the appropriate thing to do, but the economy sort of forced me out, you know. I would have worked, but, you know, I was traumatized, for sure. I was very traumatized from what I seen, you know, in a corporate workplace. It traumatized me, and it made me feel like the world was an evil, wicked place. It just did. So, I've been healing. That's a good thing. To be healing, to be, you know, having a little time off, you know, give myself, you know, a chance to, you know, find out who I am, and, you know, I don't know, maybe it put, you know, a harder shell on me. I don't think so, but because I'm still not going to the hell is low paid. It's still not going to make me feel as if I need to, you know, betray my own integrity just to keep a job. I mean, that's what we are not going to do. We didn't do it when we was in the workplace, and we're not going to do it now. You know, and that's what the whole thing was about, right? The whole thing was, you know, they wanted people to go along, to get along, and, you know, and it was just like, no. You know, some things are just wrong. I mean, I'm all for wiggle room, right? You got a little wiggle room. That's different. But when it's just wrong, like sabotaging people just so you wouldn't have to pay out, a lump sum, or that is just wrong. That's just wrong. So another thing that I'll be needing to do is contact the Department of Land with the tribe and talk to them. I'll probably do that later on, because even though it's 1 o'clock here, who knows when their lunchtime is, but we're gonna call maybe after 2, right? See if we can get a check. See if we can get a check without, paying somebody to be what do they call it? A power of attorney, right? Like, what the hell? I mean, I can see maybe, giving somebody a proxy. I just can't see giving them a power of attorney. That's just me. So I'm gonna have to find out why the hell are they doing business like that? Because that's ridiculous. That's like that's too much faith in just giving somebody a listen. No. Hell no. So I feel pretty good. Now I have access to I had applied for Omni before. I had already established myself there, but I think I was applying for some kind of front desk job, something like that. Knowing damn well I'm not I can be a front desk person, but at this stage of the game, why would I be a front desk person when what they want at the front desk is young, beautiful ladies? Now, I could be like, a seasoned beautiful lady up there, but, because they have seasoned beautiful ladies like I am. I am. And I like the fact that now I do have access to, and here's this other thing here. Damn, she whipped that around quick. She made me feel like she was going to bogart her way out. Like, look, lady, I know very well you're not trying to, force me to let you out. That's not going to happen. I don't suggest you try to force me to do a motherfucking thing. So I guess some lobbyists. Why the hell they want to sit up there and hire election workers? So I'll apply for this. the job listings from my house and not have to go in, and that's great. I should be able to go online and apply through their website, and I feel pretty good about that because hopefully people who will post openings on the employment office website are legitimate people. Hopefully. But we'll see. That's all we can do is, try our luck. Maybe we'll get lucky. Ooh, it's 71 degrees out here. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Then they have a MLK celebration. January 14th, job fair. It says featuring on-site hiring. Where'd they do that at? Where'd they do that at? You are hired. Amazon is not doing any hiring, or I did something so wrong and didn't even realize how wrong it was that they put me on the do not rehire list. I want to believe that it's they just don't have any job openings. Okay, because the job market and they had to release they had to release so many people. Right? that's probably my biggest weakness. My biggest weakness is to my biggest weakness is root beer floats. Oh my God, that's my weakness. And while I was experimenting, I found out that I even like grape soda floats. Grape soda floats, yes. I have not tried anything else, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, orange soda float might be pretty tasty, right? Because we'll eat those, creamsicles, right? We'll eat a creamsicle. And I'm gonna be honest. I like international companies. I like corporations. I don't really like the small companies, even though some people, they get treated really well at the small companies. Like my neighbor, she said that, the small company she worked for, they took care of her, they gave her a pension when she retired, I think. Or at least let her work until she could get, full full payout from, Social Security. And that right there is, it's a plus, right? And I'm telling you, if I could have not worked those 4 years that I had to work at Amazon just to be able to collect, early retirement, I would have. But damn, they didn't have no jobs, shit. So now hopefully things will get back on track. They'll start, abiding by the standards, because if they don't abide by the standards and they just letting people come in, with, this power of influence bullshit, right? I'm thinking to myself, no, at best, you contract those people. You don't put them on the resume. You don't put them on the payroll. You put them on a contract. Period. So it looks like the gasoline is $2.36 to $2.40 that I've seen so far. That I paid attention to. Could be more or less. like I said, I'm gonna give it just like one more effort to try to get me a job, and then if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna just have to do what I have to do, and that's all it is. That's all I have to say about that. Whew. I mean, and even when it comes to like being like a grocery clerk or something, I think the only place I could probably possibly work is Aldi's, because at Aldi's they let their clerks sit down. They're not always standing up there for hours, letting the blood pool to their ankles. So yeah, I did make me a couple of copies of my resume. So that's that, now that, that's over, I guess I can go and walk my mile, because I didn't walk my mile, I just did my lightweight exercises, and said, go to the employment office, because you definitely need a resume, Cherie. You definitely need a resume. So I got a resume made up. Because my thing is, if they're able to pull a copy of the resume that I built on their app from anywhere, that kind of means that, all of the places that I sent that resume is gone. And they said basically only go back 10 years. Well, the last 4 years was Amazon, and then before that, I had worked at AT&T for 18 years. So I only have 2 employers. also going to call up this guy who left me a message talking about wanting to buy my house. Even in the condition that it's in, because you can invest $30, $40, $50, $60,000 and still, not reach, today's market rate. Which is probably about $350, $375. Even then, I might be undercutting because I'm still going off of figures that I knew about, 2 years ago. I don't know what the figures are today, right? But and let's keep it real, when you're buying a house, you're not really the owner of the house, right? Even back in the day where they say that, the house is free and clear, a lot of those homes, they got through putting claims on these homes, right? They used to have like a race, and they would put claims on the property. You could see this through the in some of the cowboy movies, right? So they technically didn't have to pay for the land that they acquired. They just squatted on it, right? And protected it, with deadly force. Right? So yeah. And then put some guarantees in that, the former owners would never be able to come back and with documents to, say that they stole the land, which they did. They stole in the land. And even though they tried to make it seem like who was that they bought some land for a song. They didn't own the land, right? They didn't own the land, so they got the song, but they didn't own the land, right? And you'll see this throughout history where unofficial people are making these deals, claiming them to be legit, and they're not legit. It's just fraud. It is. It's truly fraud. And interesting enough, it's at the same time when, Trump had, prison, the president of Venezuela, they call it infacto president, that didn't want to relinquish, his position. So and in the interim, United States is going to be overseeing, their government, during this transition. Of verifying the truth. Now, there are counter videos stating that, America was wrong to interfere. However, America also had, almost 8 million people come to America asking for asylum. Okay? And they all had the same story. And the same story was their president was a tyrant, a terrorist, a drug dealer, and they were throwing people in jail left and right, and exploiting families. So, it's one thing to say, oh yeah, there was 10 allegations, but when you got damn near 8 million allegations, yeah, you definitely have to, take that under serious consideration. And interesting enough, even though they did it to Venezuela, and they were men, they might have to do it towards Mexico too, if they are just using a female presidente, as a figurehead cover, right? So, I don't know, Mexico should definitely see this as a clear and definite warning that you can say you're running your country how you want to, but if you can't back your shit up, then so what? That's basically what America is telling them. So what? You can't back your shit up. Personally, I'm glad it happened. I am. Because, they kept trying to say that, America was the one depicted in the Bible that was going to lose their strength. And then come to find out, it wasn't really America, it was Russia. Russia's been losing left and right. They can't even defeat Ukraine.